Welcome to a Friday Reads, where I talk about what I've read, what I'm reading, what I hope to get to next. And did I finish the things I said I would? No. Did I start the things I said I would? Also no. But the last couple days, have felt like I've been in a really good headspace with my reading, so I'm feeling momentum. The big thing is I miscalculated how much I wouldn't read the entire weekend trip with my friends. So, yeah, that just didn't happen, which makes sense. And I don't know why I just didn't calculate that appropriately. A thing I did finish that I didn't really talk to you guys about, it was for book club. I didn't even think of it as like a book. I still don't really think of it as a book, but there were these 88 some pages I read by Alyssa Starrett called Agua, Viva. And I think Viva. It's Portuguese, and I can't remember. Living water, jellyfish. This is the weirdest thing I've ever read. It's the hardest thing I've ever read. Like, 88 pages, felt like 300, okay? It was tough. But I persevered, and I read it for book club, and I really enjoyed the conversation. I also went to, there's a channel called Codex Cantina, and they read a lot more classic works, and I remember I knew they loved Clarice Lispector, and I was like, I bet they've done a video on this, so I got to watch their video on this book. And I went to book club, and because here's the thing about this book, there are absolute moments of brilliance, but they are not connected in any way, and that's the point. But it is very easy to, in that flow state of reading almost like this poetic, lyrical work, lose track of what is happening and why you're here, what is she writing about, who is she writing to. And so you don't get a lot of grounding. And I originally wasn't going to finish it. I was at 30 some pages, and I was like, dang, this is tough. I have no motivation to pick this up. My Kindle says I have 2 hours left with 50 pages left, and that's just disheartening. And I'm just like, ooh, I don't know, man. And then the day of book club, yesterday, I was like, okay, give it another 30 minutes, see if you pick up any sort of flow. And the second half is slightly easier than the first half. Like I said, it's a very, very interesting piece of art. I hesitate again to call it a book. Like, it's more like a really long, free-form poem. I don't know. It's very stream of consciousness, but, like, her brain is unlike any brain I've ever been in. And, like, I think the translation is fairly good. Like, I don't think it's, like, a bad one from the Portuguese. So yeah, that's the thing I did for book club. And I haven't read more of, I don't even know where my copy is, the, something of a regicide. Can't remember the name right now. But, Notes from a Regicide. I've read, like, a tiny bit more. Like, I'm in part 2 now. And I think I need to give myself a good shake with part 2. And be like, do you still like this? While I was reading Agua Viva, which is about an artist trying to connect with art, I just could not find the headspace to be with Etwan and, what's her name? Zephyr, who are also just, like, these kind of philosophical artist-type figures. Like, that was just too much for me, because I really don't relate to those themes that much. I am an artist, but not like that. So, a book I almost finished, and if it wasn't for a headache today, and stress from the world that has been happening specifically to me, I would have finished this book before this, but needs must. I wanted to film this so I could relax, and I have 40 pages left, but it's just not happening right now. But that is Midnight Timetable, which I'm really excited about because I got my book club to pick this up as our, like, spooky bite size, because it's, like, on the shorter end read. Because it's just, like, nice little ghost stories. It's just little ghosty stories in this, like, kind of terrifying building with haunted objects. And yeah, so I've been really enjoying this. Been getting back into it. I only have 2 stories left, and the next one's called Why Does the Cat? We would all like to know. I've met the sheep. So this has been great. And I think I'll be getting a copy of this book eventually, because since we're going to get the book for book club at the bookstore, I'll be like, well, of course I have to get the book. So that's what I will be doing. The weirdest pivot, but the best pivot, like, this is why I feel like I have such a healthy relationship with my reading right now, is I have started a reread of Part of Your World. I read this when I moved in December of 2023. And truly, the way Abby Jimenez writes how characters interact with each other feels so fun, real, nostalgic to me. Like, when two people have chemistry and fall into each other's lives, I think she captures that amazingly, while pairing it with, like, these kind of traumatic, hard adult moments that they're balancing. It doesn't... You have a community. It doesn't feel like these are just two isolated characters. Like, they have friends, they have a space they live in. But it doesn't feel quite like a Hallmark movie where it feels a little twee. I don't know how she does it. And she's probably one of the only romance authors I read where it's like, I don't expect sex scenes, really. I mean, they're kind of there. But she does great, like, tension scenes. And, like, I can fill in, like, the blanks. This is also, like, my second to least favorite. And I love it so much. There's a little baby goat. This is Part of Your World is our main characters, Alexis and Daniel. So Daniel works in a small town as, like, a bed and breakfast owner, carpenter, mayor, and Alexis is an ER doctor who has the family obligations to uphold and has just gotten through, I don't even think it's a divorce. I think it's a breakup. I don't think they'd gotten married from an abusive partner. So, like, there's trigger warnings for emotional abuse in this story as Alexis is still grappling with that, both from that ex-lover and from her family. And he also has an abusive parent. She's always a lot. I think her name's Amber. I can't remember. But anyways, I'm really enjoying this. This is like my whole like, oh, I can't wait to read it sort of book. It's just so fun and easy to read. So yeah, I don't really know what'll be happening next over there. Like, I have my stack of books. So hypothetically, I need to read Epic of Gilgamesh, because apparently this is a month where book club's like, you miss English class? Do you miss the challenge of English class? And honestly, no, but I do like to challenge myself, so I will be reading the Epic of Gilgamesh. Not all of this. It's like, I think there's like 12 tablets I'm supposed to read, like the standard 12. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna skip the Yale tablet. We're not doing the Pennsylvania tablet. No, who are we? I have to just read like this much. And it is like, you know, it's not like straight prose. So I'm gonna give it a shot. That's happening. And then I look at the rest of my stack and I'm like, I don't know what's gonna bring me joy, so I'm just gonna like let that simmer. But I have been getting books from my bookstore and I haven't shared it with you, and I like the stack, so I thought I'd, you know, give you a little peek. One is next month we'll have short stories for our bite-sized book club, and this book looks so cool, so I bought it. I normally don't buy it. I normally just get it from the library because I'll buy like a different book to support the bookstore. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna buy the book club book, but I'll buy a different book. But this, it's called Reservoir Bitches. It is a Mexican translated connected short story work, I believe. Is it connected? I can't. Yeah, linked short stories. So pretty excited about that. You know, and like, there's only this many stories, and short stories have been really helpful to me this summer. So I don't know. Like I said, I've been reading Midnight Timetable, so to have like just another translated short story collection spoke to me. And then, speaking of Dora Chung, he had Cursed Bunny, which I've never read, don't know anything about. I don't know who's in charge of her covers, but I do love whatever the hell this iridescent quality. You can't see it as well around the bunny, but there's like this iridescent nature happening. And it's French flaps and decoed edges. It just feels luxurious. It's like a luxurious book. Like, it's got this little rainbow on the edge. And I've been enjoying Midnight Timetables enough that I was like, yeah, I'll get this book. Why not? So gosh knows when I'm going to read it, but that's not the point. The point is I saw the book, I wanted the book, I bought it. He also had, so this is a Cleveland author. I forget that we have those. We have quite a few, actually. But this is like an author I've been recommended a bunch of times. So another short story collection that's on my radar to read is by Cadwell Turnbull. I first got turned on to this author from him in my interview series. But then I was at work, and my coworker is like friends with this author. And she's not like a science fiction author, but she has written 2 science fiction books. and is a very intelligent woman and is local. And so I found these copies used and in great condition at my local bookstore. So I have Doria Russell's The Sparrow, which is a first contact story, apparently unlike a lot of others. And then the sequel to that, Children of God. So I got these used. I think Manuel was very sweet. He just like gave me this one for free, but I bought this for like $8. Because that's the thing, his hardcovers are always like $8. I'm like, dang. So I don't know when I will read these, but I was just excited because they've just been, it was already on my radar, but then I heard she was local. I'm like, that's really cool. So yeah, I'm just excited to have that in the collection to get to eventually. In terms of art things, we finished House of the Dragon. Yeah, that's a thing. Caught up on Silo for now. I'm in the part of Jane the Virgin I don't like. It's the start of season 5, for those who know. I just do not like this particular twist at all. It's very emotional. I don't like it. It stresses me out. I don't enjoy it. I want to just get on the other side of it. But yeah. I finished a baby blanket. I'll probably post a picture in my Discord soon. I just have to tie in some ends. But then tomorrow, I'm going to go buy some yarn for a new project, which is quite exciting to me. So yeah, that's what's happening. So, school's starting way sooner than I wanted to, but here we are. Like I said, I'm at least excited to go sit on my couch and read some of these and, see where the wind takes me. What are you reading, doing, watching this weekend? And if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here. Gosh, I know we did a sheep last week, and I know this goat doesn't. Sheep, goat, what's the difference? So I guess a bunny. And otherwise, if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.